Happy New Year, everyone! Dishonored was the latest in a long line of so-called immersive simulator games, after titles like System Shock 2, Bioshock, Bioshock 2, Static Shock, etc. Unlike those other games, Dishonored innovated on something unheard of in the genre, making the gameplay more appealing than operating a forklift in a sewer with all of your ligaments severed while the lobotomized remains of Daft Punk play their latest mixtape in your ears. This decision was very controversial. Alright, let's get the prerequisites out of the way. Good graphics, good art direction, good music, phone and voice work, but they had 5G so it's not that bad, and a story somewhere between interesting enough to keep me engaged and so mediocre it might as well have been avant-garde fanfiction of that chapter of Moby Dick where they talk about chowder.
Chapter 15. Chowder.
Yes, Dishonored, you're very beautiful, so please stop comparing yourself to all the other diesel punk 20th century immersive sims. Two of them. Let's stop prancing around the bush like a teenager who's sentimental about his pubes and get into the goddamn gameplay. It's a stealth-based first-person shooter, except without the shooting, really, and also the stealth if you fucking suck. The whole gimmick is that you can play it however you want, sneaking around the city like a scoliosis patient on a mission, or in a way that's actually, fun. Yeah, that's the thing about Dishonored, the stealth part of the stealth gameplay isn't really anything special. It's pretty standard. Avoid enemies, if they catch a glimpse of you, they just stand still while their detection meter goes up and they say, "Roy, what's all this then?" The thing is that you usually have the firepower to get out of any situation where you alert the guards. The first power you get from the magic twink is the teleport one, which straight up lets you skip entire sections. Later powers are straight broken and let you stop time, possess people, and introduce Jake Paul's fanbase. Honestly, a lot of the tension from the stealth gameplay comes from how much you're able to push the stealth without alerting anyone. It's like playing a game of strip Jenga, where the consequences of losing aren't dire, but they are reason enough not to just donkey kick the tower over. You get what I mean? So you keep pushing the game and yourself to see how badass you can get, and this is where the true attraction of Dishonored lies. Where you finally see how the stealth and action mechanics are so finely polished, you can seamlessly play into both types of gameplay and become an absolute badass. After you reach a certain threshold in skill, the game becomes less of a linear experience and more of a sandbox where you're studying the enemies and environments for all the little ways you can cut through entire levels like Leatherface with the Infinity Gauntlet. You're essentially exploiting every avenue the devs built for the play it your way approach to assert complete dominance over this digital domain. It's absolutely cathartic, and I think this is what Arcane was trying to capitalize on with Deathloop, but it just falls short because Corvo Attano makes Colt Vaughn look like a Chinese knockoff, made from plastic refurbished from dental implants from dead children. There's no contest! So what's so bad about Dishonored that keeps it from being absolute certified Kino? Well, that story I mentioned earlier was just a little rough. Just a bit. Now, out of the several 100,000 issues most people have with the story, one of the biggest that I picked up on was Corvo the protagonist's character. Or lack thereof. Lack is actually an understatement. Corvo doesn't so much lack a personality so much as more resemble a piece of sentient drywall that learned to walk and slit throats than he does a person. He's a silent protagonist. Oop, already a red flag. Silent protagonists were fine in 1998 when Gabe Newell was too busy delivering Half-Life from the kingdom of God to worry about such trite activities. But even in 2012, this was a god-awful idea. Corvo's giant acromangalic hands are the only way he expresses anything to the world, and all they show is how he hugs his daughter the same way he gouges eyes out of skulls. Corvo never takes any agency, so things just happen to him. He's just drifting through life while his friends are trying to subvert the government. Been there, buddy. Arcane apparently realized they fucked up halfway through development, but they were too focused on giving the maids dump trucks, so they had to make the executive decision to give him the basic bitch phenotype. Corvo is the type of dude to post on Instagram about how much he loves pumpkin spice lattes every fall, and that's all I have left to say, okay? Arcane fucked up Corvo so badly they decided to make the antagonist of the goddamn game the main character in the DLCs. There's not much to say about the Knife of Dunwall and the Brigmore Witches other than they're literally better in the main game in every way. This dude Dowd is such a well-written character and honestly makes Corvo look like an American knockoff released on Netflix. His whole shindig is trying to earn redemption and it's one of the more compelling motivations I've seen. Dowd is a genuinely great character, trying to make up for his assassin lifestyle by saving the new Empress. What's really interesting is that the chaos system is really well done here. It's not about Dowd becoming a better person. Dowd's too much of a real motherfucker for that to be a possibility. Instead, it's about whether or not he's willing to actually change and stop killing or go all out on a world he thinks is totally doomed. He interacts with this world just the right amount. He talks when it's necessary, but out in the field, this DILF is all business. He doesn't feel the need to speak his every little thought that crosses his mind. It's nice, playing as someone who feels real in this world, not just some mechanized cutout of a character who lumbers around like a hollowed out corpse. Nah, Doubt has presence, and that presence makes everything just a little richer. When I'm stabbing hoes and stacking paper, I'm wondering what's going on behind these eyes. What's Doubt thinking of right now while I'm torturing this Union lady? See, colorful worlds like Dunwall and the Empire of the Isles don't mean much if the character through which you see this world is as colorful as Michael Jackson's final moments. Giving us these bruised and learned eyes to see this world is genius. Too bad Arcane forgot that shit immediately after.